Hi Wanderers, today let's take a hike up to Black Elk Peak in Custer State Park.
Can I have your sweatshirt?
So this is Sylvan Lake. It's a really beautiful place in Custer State Park. We'll have a video coming out on it pretty soon, and once it comes out we'll drop a link here. But I was here, this is a trailhead for Black Elk Peak, and one of my units lost one of its members, and we decided the best way to offer some closure was to take a hike, as this young man enjoyed, up to Black Elk Peak. Just for some bonding, and also to offer us an opportunity to have a little memorial. So before we headed out, at Sylvan Lake, there's some great sort of resources. You've got this large board here which really shows you all of the different hiking that's available in Custer State Park. Obviously focus here on this area around Sylvan Lake, the Needles Highway, and those sorts of things. It's also got a little bit of information about the Black Hills itself, letting you understand some of the ecology, some of the animals that are in the area, and so it's a really great kind of opportunity to kind of understand where it is you're going. So this is starting up the trail to Black Elk Peak and Harney Tower. Nah, heck, I'm good. I've got sunscreen if that had to become a problem. So about a mile into the trail, you kind of come to the very first kind of outcropping and overlook. And there's a lot of beautiful views, and obviously it interconnects with some of the other trails in the area, but there are just no shortage of beautiful views of the Black Hills themselves and the different formations around here. But it was a great way to start the morning. So this is as you're beginning to get towards the summit, and one thing I had never hiked the Black Elk Peak before, and so as you're coming up, it's almost like these false hopes you run into, in that you think, oh, I bet we're almost there, and then it's not quite. But the higher you go, just the more beautiful the views get. And yes, as you get probably about 2/3 of the way towards the peak, it really starts to increase in the grade and the elevation, and so it's definitely, I think moderate is probably where I would put it, because it is a well marked out and well maintained trail. But especially as you get towards the end, and the elevation and the steepness of the trail start to come in, it can definitely start to wear you down. Overall, the hike was round trip was just under 7 miles, but we gained about 1,500 feet. So it is no joke, but it absolutely was a great day to do it. Here you see where we really start to do the final ascent up to the actual peak. So we're heading, we're going to go through a little bit of kind of rock formation, and then you're going to encounter a lot of what's been done to allow you to reach the peak. So Black Elk Peak used to be known as Harney's Peak. It's now been renamed Black Elk Peak, but at the top is still Harney Tower, which you'll see here in just a few minutes, which is an old fire station, or fire lookout that was there. But you come through here and you turn this quick corner here, and then it stairs. They're going to take you the rest of the way up. A quick lookout, black over the Black Hills, just absolutely beautiful and stunning. But then stairs. Start to make your way up. So you can see there were some families that were also doing it that day. The trail really wasn't that busy, but it's something that even kids can do without too much difficulty because of how well it is maintained and marked out. So certainly something that you could do as a family to enjoy together. Some people might get a little freaked out about the stairs right there, but it's really not that bad. So this is coming up on the full peak and the tower, back out over the left. And actually that kind of block there you see in the middle of that, actually the back of Mount Rushmore, which is kind of cool that you can see that from way over there. But now you can see Harney Tower that sits there at the top of Black Elk Peak. So the structure is open. You can go through and explore it. It's a good place to get out of the wind because, quite honestly, it was when we took off that day, it probably was, I don't know, probably mid-60s at the bottom of the trail. But by the time we got to the top with the wind, it probably was about 50 degrees. So it was really cool and felt nice, but a lot of breeze. So you definitely need to layer if you're going to be heading up to the top of Black Elk Peak, especially if it's not dead in the middle of summer. But this was even at the end of June, and it was cool enough at the top where I was glad I had layered, and several others had brought some coats and jackets. But obviously it was an overcast day, so really didn't have the sun to deal with and to help to keep you warm. There's a nice lookout area here from the edge of Harney Tower. So now we're going to descend into Harney Tower, which there are a couple room areas down at the bottom. This used to be a working fire lookout, so obviously it had to have different rooms and places down there, some amenities. So you can see some of our group who were gathered in there, I think trying to get out of the elements a little bit because it was windy and cool. But then you can go out the back side of the tower itself, and there's some stairs that will take you down out onto a different the back side of the rocks there, and you can see some other things once you get down there. Steps back here are a little precarious, so definitely be careful, especially if it's been raining. I'm sure they would be very slick, so just be very careful when you're heading out there. But there's a lot of areas you can see out here that you can still get to very easily if you want to have some peace and quiet. Maybe set up a camera, take some pictures, whatever you might want to do in that area. There's a lot of area to get away from kind of the mass of people that will be sitting there at Harney Tower. As it was a working fire lookout and station, it has a reservoir at the back which contains the water that they would hold in reserve and use for different firefighting. And little building there. A little later in the day, some of our group actually had lunch sitting there on top of that little structure. So definitely become a cool thing to do if your family hiked up there, just like this family that wasn't with our group were doing for that day. So a lot of fun for your kids if you come out, because there's a lot of rocks to climb on, which I know my kids love to do. So it was a great day. We were able to, as a group, do some bonding, hopefully find some healing and closure for a tragedy for our group, and to do a memorial for that young man in a place that he loved and was very, very important to him. So a highly recommended hike if you're in the Black Hills area. Don't miss it. Just come out, check it out, and see the absolute beauty that it has out there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as we enjoyed hiking it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you somewhere down the trail.